Some of you will have what's called a network switch at home instead of a PoE injector.
So let's note about the different types of switches. This particular one is a D-Link. You can see that it has the PoE
Port marked for you. So that's the port that the telephone network cable needs to plug into. So we'll go ahead and demonstrate that in a moment.
And this other one that we have is a TrendNet, and the PoE ports are actually the ones marked 1 to 4. It doesn't say that on here, but that's what is working. So we won't display this one, but we'll display the previous one. The Netgear, D-Link, and the TrendNet are all generally the same. So when you connect it, basically what you want to do is connect your furthest network cable
from your ISP home modem into one of the ports.
So you can see I've connected my yellow cable to my home ISP modem. On the back there is 4 empty slots generally. I had 2 available, so I'm plugging into one of these empty slots, and the other end of this cable goes into the network switch.
So you can see I have the other end of the network cable into the network switch,
and I connected into port number 4 because it was available and is not marked PoE. You can see that, actually port number 5, sorry. You can see that port number 5 light is lit up, and that I have the power onto my network switch.
Next thing I'm going to do is connect my teleworker telephone into the PoE port on the network switch. So right now you can see I have a blue cable connected to the farthest port open on the right hand side in the back of the phone, and I'm going to connect that into the PoE port on the network switch, which looks like this. So now you can see I have that port into port 1. You can see the link light on port 1 starts flashing. You can see the PoE light is on as well, which means there's power going through the cable. If I switch back to my telephone, I can see that there's power on the phone and it's starting to power up. Once this is gone through its sequence, you'll be able to use that telephone. Once the phone is completely powered up, you can see that comes up in a locked position. For contact center users, you want to hot desk into your telephone. So basically what you do is you click on the hot desk button, you click on the login button, and then you enter your agent ID. So I'm going to just enter a test one that I have here, and I press enter, and then when it comes with the PIN, you don't need to put anything, just press enter. It will go ahead and log you into the telephone, and if you're an agent, you'll come up in the make busy mode. For any other users that are not into the contact center queue, it'll just come up into your extension that you've hot desked into. So now you're good to go on the bank network with the telephone. When you're finished for the day, you basically need to log out of the teleworker phone. So basically what you do is you click the log out button, and again, the log out button in the middle you press. It will log you out of your extension ID that you hot desk into, and make sure you're out of the contact center queue. And it'll come up into a locked state. The final thing I'll show you is connecting the thin client into the back of the telephone. So if you don't have a long enough thin client, you can either do one of 2 things. You can plug it into the network switch. So I could plug this thin client into the network cable into one of the available ports, or if it's not convenient to do that, you can plug it into this particular port on the back of the telephone, which will give it its network. So you can see that I plugged the thin client into the second port to the right. So the blue cable is for the telephone, the PoE switch. The gray cable is for the network thin client. If I span over to the thin client, you'll notice that the green light is lit, and you'll see an amber flashing light. That's how you know that it's actually working and it's getting its network access.